Hello, my name's Nick Haupt, and we are here with Brian Stembridge, owner and operator of First Light Home Care. And this is another senior living production, and we're going to kind of dive right in and chat a little bit more about your company, what makes you different things along those lines. So to start off, I know with this industry, it's a needs-driven industry.
Right.
It's always, there may be a fall or something happens to get families to call you, right?
Right.
So with all that being said, say a family gives you a call and they have an immediate issue with a loved one, a mom, a dad, something along those lines. How fast usually can you get a shift staffed?
We strive for within 24 hours. We've had one specific instance where somebody called us and I went and met with them late on a Friday afternoon, and we started making phone calls and had somebody there 9 o'clock on Saturday morning to begin 4-hour shifts for that individual client. So we've had the opportunity to staff quick, but our typical average is we talk with the family and we either pre-plan, but when we can't obviously do that because the situation warrants a little bit faster than, usually within 12 to 24 hours we're ready to go with a fully trained, staffed caregiver and in that home.
Okay. Now, you mentioned you talk with the family, figure out what kind of things they're needing and what kind of services. Now, do you put together a specific program for that individual?
Yes, yeah. So when I'm going in and doing an in-home assessment, I'm talking to not only the client if they're able to be able to tell me what they need, but also the family and find out what are the true needs. Is it maybe just companion level care services, housekeeping, taking care of things around the home? Is it a higher level of care? Are we dealing with minimized function of ADLs? And do they need help getting in and out of bed? Do they need help getting into the shower? Do they need help with feeding, things like that? So we can definitely craft a very specific plan that's based on what that client needs and then what the family is also looking to achieve. Could be a goal of mom is in an assisted living community, but yet she doesn't participate. She doesn't get involved. Well, what does that look like? What would success look like for the family? It might mean mom comes out and becomes more social, gets involved in some of the activities of the community, and enjoys being out of her room or apartment more than being in the apartment. Well, that's an easy opportunity really to send in some of our caregivers that can help through social engagement and conversation, get that individual active in the community and find out what's going on and enjoy being in a great place that they've moved to.
Very good, very good. So with the operations piece of getting things staffed and getting the right caregiver, do you ever run into a problem if maybe a caregiver calls out sick or they don't show up or something like that? Do you run into that? And then if you do, what kind of things do you have in place to make sure that the family and that client of yours is getting the care they need?
Right. So one of the things we do when we're hiring our caregivers is we tell them they're probably going to be given a primary shift or a primary client to work with, but they're also going to need to be available on call or special situations when somebody does have a situation that comes up. We had a situation where a caregiver was getting ready for the shift. Got a call from her brother that her mother had a stroke and admitted to the hospital. So within 35-40 minutes, we had a replacement caregiver so that the client didn't miss the shift. That's our goal, is the client would never be left alone, meaning they would not have that shift come and nobody be there. The other thing is the client would not be guessing, would somebody be there at all? We're going to have somebody there. Worst case scenario, if while we're trying to get everything worked out, I'm going or Karen's going, we're going to fill in. We're going to be there for that individual in the meantime while they're working on getting somebody there to take care of the balance of the shift or to relieve us. So we're going to be out there. We're not going to leave a client expecting something and not getting it. That's our goal.
And that's that personal touch
that
you as a family owned and operated.
Yeah, my mom and my dad were the caregivers for my grandmother. I saw the devotion that they had. I also saw when they tried to hire some caregivers, the challenge that it placed on them when that caregiver wasn't able to make it. That's our goal. We're personally invested in the success of First Light Home Care, so we're going to make sure that client gets the services that they've asked for, that the family needs, that client needs, and we're going to provide the caregiver, even if it's a backup. And I think that's one of the advantages of going with a home care agency, no matter what, but specifically with First Light, that we're not, Karen and I as owners, we're not that far removed from being able to provide that personal level of service and fill in when needed.
Great. Well, once again, we appreciate your time. We appreciate your knowledge in this piece of the industry, and we look forward to working with you more in the future.
Well, thanks a lot, Nick. Appreciate it.